So we'll talk about inheritance. What is inheritance concept? Why do we use that? Why do we need that? How do I use that in the program? Right? So we'll see basic understanding of inheritance. Basic understanding of inheritance. Right? Logic we'll understand, then we'll technically we'll talk about. ठीक है. So what do you understand by the concept inheritance? Inherit करना मतलब क्या करना? Properties. Okay, so let's not get into technical, just logically we'll try to understand. Inheritance मतलब inherit करना properties. Let's say we get inherited some property from our parents. So we are the inherited, right? So from our parent we get the properties. Like how do we get that? Because of their parents, like so we get that the property is inherited. Which property we get inherited? कौन सा property? जो उन्होंने डिक्लेयर करा है. देयर माइट बी सम प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी दे डू नॉट डिस्क्लोज, बुढ़ापे के लिए कुछ बचा के रखेंगे, ऐसा प्रॉपर्टी भी हो सकता है, राइट? सो देयर माइट बी सम प्रॉपर्टी विच इज नॉट डिस्क्लोज टू यू. सो एज अ चाइल्ड वी विल गेट all public property, all protected property. Then do we get private property? No, we do not get private property. So there might be some static data. Static means आपके जो अंकल लोग हैं उनके साथ भी शेयर्ड प्रॉपर्टी हुआ आपके पेरेंट्स का, तो आपको मिलता है कि इमीडिएटली एक्सेस होता है क्या? सो दैट प्रॉपर्टी मतलब कोई कॉमन हाउस होता है ना, वो उनके साथ ही अभी भी शेयर्ड है आपके अंकल के साथ ही, लेकिन वो आपको तो नहीं मिलेगा अभी इमीडिएटली. तो द प्रॉपर्टी विच इज कॉमन फॉर योर पेरेंट क्लास, that is not going to be coming with you. So as a inheritance you will get non-private, non-static and non-final property from parent to child. तो हम मतलब यूज क्या है उसका, मतलब हम जो भी प्रॉपर्टी मिलता है उसको हम रीयूज कर रहे हैं. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू रीयूज. तो नंबर वन इनहेरिटेंस का मतलब यूज, आप कोई भी पूछेंगे तो इनहेरिटेंस का यूज होता है रीयूजिबिलिटी. रीयूजिबिलिटी अभी टेक्निकल टर्म्स में व्हाट इज इनहेरिटेंस? इट इज जस्ट अ प्रोसेस ऑफ एक्वायरिंग सम प्रॉपर्टीज एंड सम बिहेवियर्स फ्रॉम वन ऑब्जेक्ट इनटू अनदर ऑब्जेक्ट. नाउ ऑब्जेक्ट, this is the source object we have, this source object, this is the child object. So if you try to acquire which properties? Non-private, non-static, non-private and non-final from one object into another. So we have properties and behavior, that is method. That is methods from one object into another object. When we try to acquire, or what is inheritance? If someone asks you, it is a process of acquiring non-private, non-static, non-final properties and behaviors from one object into another object. What is inheritance? If someone asks you, it is just a process of acquiring non-private, non-static, non-final members. That is members, I said that member can be properties also and it can be methods also from one object into another object. We also call it from one class into another class also, but that is actually object. Class has no value if you do not create the object. So it is from one object into another object. So inheritance represents one type of relationship. What is that? Is a type of. It represents a relationship called as is a. अभी जहाँ से आप प्रॉपर्टीज इनहेरिट करने का ट्राई करते हो, जिसे आप सोर्स है, राइट? इस सोर्स, इसे आप पेरेंट क्लास भी बोल सकते हो, या बेस क्लास भी बोल सकते हो, या सुपर क्लास भी बोल सकते हो. और जहाँ पर आप लेके आ रहे हो इसको आप डेस्टिनेशन जहाँ पे लेके आ रहे हो तो इसे आप क्या बोलते हो, चाइल्ड क्लास बोल सकते हो या सब क्लास बोल सकते हो या डिराइव्ड क्लास भी बोल सकते हो। डेस्टिनेशन को आप बोलते हो चाइल्ड क्लास, सब क्लास और डिराइव्ड क्लास। ठीक, now there are some terms. The class from which you acquire the properties or the members, that class is called as source or parent class or base class or super class. And the class or object where you actually inherit the members, it is called as child class or a subclass or a derived class. So we know what it is. Now why we need to do this? Why we have to do this? Perfect. Now the main use of inheritance is code reusability. The main use of inheritance is code reusability. The main use of inheritance is code reusability. Now how we actually, now you might wonder how we are actually achieving the code reusability using inheritance. How to achieve it? So question is how to achieve code reusability using inheritance. This we will see how to do that. But why we are using inheritance? Number one reason, for code reusability purpose. For code reusability purpose. Okay. Now what do you mean by code reusability? Now let's assume that I have a class that is, let's say, loan class, and there I have hundreds of variables and hundreds of methods. I have hundreds of variables and methods. ठीक है, मैंने बहुत 10 साल पहले लेट से क्लास क्रिएट करके रखा था। अभी मुझे क्या करना है, अभी मेरे पास मैंने नए क्लासेस बनाए, लेट से पर्सनल लोन क्लास हो सकता है, पर्सनल लोन क्लास हो सकता है, लेट से होम लोन का भी जैसे कैटेगरी हो सकता है, बिजनेस लोन का भी क्लास हो सकता है, या कार लोन का भी, ऐसे बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं, राइट। तो मुझे अभी क्या करना है, ये जो इसमें से जो वेरिएबल्स हैं, ये सारे के सारे वेरिएबल्स यहाँ पर भी यूज़ होते हैं और मेथड्स यहाँ पर भी और यहाँ पर भी, ठीक है, ये अलग अलग है, और प्लस इनका कुछ एक्स्ट्रा वेरिएबल्स भी हो सकता है, प्लस सब कुछ एक्स्ट्रा भी हो सकता है, इनका अलग वेरिएबल और मेथड्स। अभी इन सब में ये डेटा एंड मेथड्स कॉमन है, इन सब में ये डेटा एंड मेथड्स कॉमन है, दिस डेटा एंड मेथड इज कॉमन अक्रॉस ऑल ऑफ दिस क्लासेस। तो आपने क्या किया, सेम वेरिएबल्स एंड मेथड्स आपने लिखा है ऑलमोस्ट 5 से, मतलब जो भी 100, मेरे पास लेट से ऐसे 100 क्लासेस है, तो आप 100 बार सेम वेरिएबल्स एंड मेथड्स आप लिख रहे हो, तो आपका कोड का कितना डुप्लीकेशन हो रहा है, यू आर डुप्लीकेटिंग लॉट ऑफ कोड अगेन एंड अगेन। आपके पास 100 क्लासेस है तो आप 100 टाइम्स यू आर राइटिंग दिस कोड, 100 टाइम्स यू आर राइटिंग द कोड। तो ये कोड मेंटेनेंस करना भी डिफिकल्ट होता है, इतना सारा कोड एक साथ लिखोगे तो ये पेन पॉइंट हटाने के लिए आप क्या करते हो, वेरी सिंपल, आप एक बेस क्लास बनाते हो, आप क्या करते हो, एक बेस क्लास बनाते हो और वहाँ पर जो भी कॉमन क्या लिखते हो, कॉमन डेटा और कॉमन मेथड्स, यहाँ पे आप एक बार डिफाइन करते हो कॉमन डेटा एंड मेथड्स लिख दिया क्लास आपने, लेट्स से ABC जो भी है। तो अभी इस क्लास को आपने एक बना दिया है कॉमन, मतलब ये आपको लगता है कि ये कॉमन कोड है, तो आपने जो भी कॉमन डेटा है, कॉमन मेथड्स है, उसको अलग लिख दिया और इसे आप बोल सकते हो बाद में बेस क्लास, पेरेंट क्लास, सुपर क्लास। अभी ये डेटा और मेथड्स आपको यूज करना है दूसरे सब क्लासेस में। लेट्स से मेरे पास दूसरे कोई क्लासेस है, लेट्स से P Q, ऐसे बहुत सारे क्लासेस हो सकते हैं मेरे पास, R, ऐसे बहुत सारे क्लासेस हो सकते हैं। तो मुझे बस ये कोड रीयूज करना है, तो मुझे बार बार लिखना नहीं है, मुझे बस क्या लिखना है, एक कीवर्ड लिखना है, क्या, एक्सटेंड्स ए बी से जो भी है। यहाँ पर भी मुझे एक्सटेंड्स ए बी जो भी लिखना है, ए बी से जो भी। तो इतना वर्ड लिखने से ये सारा का सारा ये डेटा ये इसका पार्ट बन जाता है। तो आपने क्या किया, एक बार ही कोड लिख दिया जहाँ पर आपको लग रहा है कि ये कोड आपका रीयूज हो सकता है, तो आपने लिख दिया यहाँ पर कोड पूरा आपका जो कॉमन डेटा है, कॉमन मेथड से आपने लिख दिया, और फिर इसे आप यूज़ कर सकते हो अक्रॉस, रीयूज़ कर रहे हो, यूज़ नहीं कर रहे हो आप, रीयूज़ कर रहे हो। तो आपने बस एक ये लिखने से आपको क्या हो जाता है, इसकी सारी मेंबर्स, कौन सी मेंबर्स, नॉन प्राइवेट, नॉन स्टैटिक, नॉन फाइन मेंबर्स, इसका पार्ट बन जाती है, राइट। तो आपका पहला तो इनहेरिटेंस, व्हाट इट इज, इनहेरिटेंस इज अ process of acquiring non-private, non-static, perfect। तो पहले तो हम देखते हैं what is inheritance। It is a process of acquiring non-private, non-static, non-final members from one object to another object, right? Then what is superclass, base class, then what is parent class? What do you think, what is this? It is the class where common data, common members are defined, and then these are reused inside another classes. So this is the source of common members from which other classes can extend it. Other classes can extend it. So why to use inheritance? Why to use inheritance? We use inheritance to achieve code reusability purpose. Right? Then what is a type of relationship? So you can say inheritance represents is a type of inheritance represents is a type of relationship. So how do we read that? We read like this: child class is a type of parent class. We read like this: child class is a type of parent class. Right, and the arrow we write like this is let's say we have parent class, so we write like this. So this is let's say parent and this is let's say child. So we write like read like C is a type of P. So C is a type of P. So arrow should be pointing to parent class because C is of type P. C is of type P. ऐसे भी उसको याद रख सकते हो. We get the surname from our parents. So let's say my surname is like this. So I am part of that parent class surname. Right? The next question is how to achieve or implement inheritance. So we implement or we achieve inheritance by using extends keyword and implements keyword. And what is the example? Let's try to understand this. So we'll take this very small example. So let's say I have a class P, there I have common data, and I want to inherit this particular data or members into another class. It's a class C. So I have to write simple line. What is that? Class C extends class P. Right? Now by doing this, we acquire the properties or members of from this class into class C. So we use extends keyword. We use extends keyword. Yes. I think eraser हो गया. Class C extends P. Class C extends P. Now, if you see, this is there are different types of inheritance available. Different types of inheritance available. So, what are the different types of inheritance are there? So, we have single level, multi-level, then we have multiple, then we have cyclic, then hierarchical, then we have hybrid. Right? These are the different types of inheritances we have. So what is single level? Now if you see this, whatever we have done, this is called as single level. This is called as single level inheritance. So when one class extends only one other class. So one class extends only one other class. This is called as single level. So let me write this. So one class tries to extend only one other class. So this is called as single level. It's called as single level. Now I have another example where one class extends another class and that class is extended by another class. So class A is extended by class B, class B is extended by class C. So C extends B, B extends A. So this is called as multi-level. Remember, this is called as multi-level. Whether this is supported in Java, yes, this is supported in Java, this is also supported in Java. Then we have multiple. Now one class extends the properties or members from two other classes. So this is called as multiple. So one child has two parents. So this is not possible in Java through classes. It is possible in Java, yes, but through interfaces, but it is not possible through classes. You'll understand this, why it is not possible through classes, why it is possible through interfaces, but just we are trying to understand the types. So when one class extends more than one class, it is called as multiple inheritance. It is supported through interfaces, but it is not supported through classes. Then one class tries to extend itself. It is called as cyclic and it is not supported in Java through interfaces as well as through classes. It is not supported. This is called as cyclic. Then what do we have? Hierarchical inheritance. Now you can think of, let's say I have a employee. I have an employee class. Employee class can be of type manager. It can be director. I have these classes. I have these classes. So director is also employee. Yes. Then we have senior manager. This is also. We can create again director. Again you can create that category like this. Director can be, let's say we have, let's say another Ajay is a director, Vijay is also director. So we have multiple hierarchy. So if we create a hierarchy of classes, we create a hierarchy of classes. So this is possible in Java, yes. So when one class is extended by more than one classes, this is called as hierarchical inheritance. So it is supported in Java, yes, it is supported in Java through classes as well as through interfaces. Perfect. Okay, let's come back. What we have seen, what are the different types of inheritance we have. So in case of single level, what is single level? One class extends only one another class. It is supported in Java. It is supported in Java. Multi-level, one class extends only one another class and that class extends another class and so on. Tick. It is supported in Java, yes, it is supported in Java through classes as well as interfaces. Multiple. When one subclass extends more than one parent class, more than one class, it is called as multiple inheritance. So it is supported in Java through interfaces. It is not supported through classes. Cyclic. When one class tries to extend itself, it is not supported in Java, either through, not neither, neither through classes nor through interface. Okay. Hierarchical. When one class is extended by more than one subclasses, it is supported? Yes. Hybrid. Hybrid. It is a combination of multiple inheritance and some other type of it is a combination of multiple inheritance and some other type of inheritance. It is not supported. It is not supported in Java through classes nor through interfaces. Tick. Let us try to implement this with the help of example. So in the parent class, I defined several some data. It's a int a, int b and some method void display this data which is common. So this is the display method of parent class display method. Take a is equal to, let's say, 100 and b is equal to, let's say, 200. So I have this parent class, I have this class, and I create a subclass. How do I create a subclass? I will just give a name child, and then I just say extends parent. So with the help of this, we are actually getting the properties from this class. We are getting the members from this class into subclass. So you have to simply create the object of this class. If I create object of child class equal to new child. So child class, if you see, it is empty. Child class is empty. But if I try to access the members of this class, child dot a, child dot b, and child dot display. So if you see, we are able to reuse the data from this class, data and the methods from parent class into child class. So if I run this, I will get a as 100, b as 200, and display method will be called from this class. So technically child class is empty, but we are getting the properties and methods from that parent class. So we are able to reuse. See here. Simple. Okay. So this is called as, whatever you see, this is called as single level. This is called as single level inheritance. Now I create one more class. This is simply, we have a, b and the display method just like any other class. Then child class, we haven't written anything, just a main method, and we write extends parent class. इसको लिखने से आपको सारी प्रॉपर्टीज मिल जाती है, प्रॉपर्टीज एंड members from this class into this class. Now I am creating grandchild extends child. If you see here, the parent class is extended by child class is extended by grandchild. So grandchild extends child class extends parent class. So this is actually example of multi-level inheritance. So I will create object of this grandchild. So properties are inherited from parent class into child class, from child into grandchild. So this is the example of multi-level inheritance. So I will say grandchild dot a, grandchild dot b, and grandchild dot display. So we are able to access the data and members, method members from parent class into child class, from child into grandchild. Simple. So this is called as multi-level inheritance. This is called as multi-level, not multiple, it is multi-level. Check. Now I have two classes, A class and B class, and I create another class C. Now C class tries to extend from two classes, A and B. If you see here, I get a compile time error. So what it is saying, class cannot extend multiple classes. So one class cannot extend multiple classes. So multiple inheritance is not supported through classes. Why it is not supported? This question we have to see why it is not supported, but logically you can also tell that. Now let's say we have two classes, A class, B class. A class also has one variable that is A, and B class also has one variable that is called as A, and both the properties are inherited into C class. Now when you create a child class object, we are able to access parent class properties, then child class will get confused which A to access, either A or B. Now A also has one display method, B also has display method, then he will try to call display method. So then there will be a confusion. Which display method call? Either from A class or either from B class. So to avoid this confusion, multiple inheritance is not supported through classes. So they will ask you what is ambiguity problem, what is confusion for the why multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. So this question is also important. So they will ask you why multiple inheritance is not supported. Why multiple inheritance is not supported through classes in Java. It is not supported. Hybrid is also not supported. Hybrid is also not supported. So can you tell me why it is not supported? When one class extends more than one class, more than one classes, then there will be confusion. There will be confusion for the child class, from where to access the members, because there will be multiple members. Same members can be present in one class, another class. So which member to access? So where one class extends more than one classes, then there will be confusion for the child from where to access the members. So to avoid this confusion, multiple inheritance is not supported in Java through classes. So how it is supported through interfaces, we'll look into that time when we have the interfaces. But right now you can focus. This is important. Remember this part. So hierarchy, we are going to learn this hierarchy of classes. So what is hierarchy? So you can remember one hierarchy. So there is by default in java.lang package, there are multiple classes. So there is one class called as throwable, is extended by two classes. One is exception and one is called as error. Error class is extended by runtime exception class. So throwable is a class. These are all predefined classes. Throwable is a class which is extended by exception class as well as error class, and runtime exception class extends exception class. So this is one hierarchy you can remember for the exception handling. So inheritance is heavily used by Java. Java itself uses inheritance very heavily. So let me open the class throwable. Throwable, it is a class. If you see, so throwable is extended by lot of classes. So we have exception class, exception extends throwable. Then we have runtime exception, Runtime exception is a class which extends exception class extends throwable. Right, now this hierarchy goes again and again. So there is one exception called as arithmetic exception. It is a class that extends runtime exception extends exception, and exception extends throwable. If you see the hierarchy, arithmetic exception extends runtime exception extends exception extends throwable. So this hierarchy of classes Java is also using very heavily, right? Okay, just to conclude, we will not go into that detail today. Okay, so what is inheritance? Just to conclude, it is a process of acquiring non-private, non-static, non-final members from one object into another object, or some people say from one class into another class. So what is superclass, base class, or parent class? It is the class where we define common data and methods, and this class can be extended by some other classes that are called as child class. The class which extends this particular class, destination part, is called as child class. Perfect. What is inherit? Why we use inheritance? We use inheritance to reuse the code again and again. If I have a common code, and if I write the code again and again in different classes, you are duplicating the code. So instead of that, what we do, we define the code in one central place, and we can use that code again and again anywhere we want. So what is a type of relationship? So inheritance represents is a type of relationship. Is a type, how do we read that? Child is a type of parent class. How to actually implement inheritance? We achieve inheritance by using extends keyword or implements keyword. What are the different types of inheritance are there? Single level, multi-level, multiple, cyclic, hybrid, hierarchical. Now single level means one class extends one other class. Multi-level, one class extends another class, that subclass extends another class. So we have hierarchy of classes. Multiple inheritance, when one class extends more than one parent classes. Cyclic, when one class tries to extend itself. Hierarchical, one class is extended by multiple other classes. Hybrid, it is a combination of multiple inheritance with any other particular inheritance type. So single level is supported through classes as well as through interfaces. Multi-level is also supported through classes, interfaces. Then multiple is only supported through interfaces, but it is not supported through classes. Cyclic and hybrid are not supported in Java at all. Cyclic and hybrid are not supported in Java. Hierarchical is supported through classes as well as through interfaces also. Okay. So these are the different types of inheritance we have seen. So we'll see the different use cases for that in the next session.